So let's dive in. We are recording now, and this is Nisa Moyles, and she is many things. There's Jane Thomason. She's already here. That's awesome.
Hi, Jane.
Hi, Jane. So we have multiple things about you. You're like a blockchain sensation, and you've done numerous things in the space, like from everything from journalism, and you're a securities attorney and an investor. So we'll dive into whatever you feel most comfortable with. I think maybe you should give the young women and girls in the audience today and those watching this video after it's recorded a little background about yourself and how you got started, what motivated you, what kept you inspired, and what keeps you inspired.
Absolutely. And thank you so much. I got involved with blockchain maybe about 5 years ago. I've been in venture capital for the past 10 years, and I had been investing in the space tangentially at my venture fund. But once I really, went down the proverbial rabbit hole, I started investing myself in the space outside of the fund. And what I noticed is that, women receive only 2% of all venture funding, which has dropped in the pandemic. So obviously I noticed that a long time ago and began to really probe why that was and found all these systemic barriers that exist to female founders. That prompted me to write the book, profiling 13 female founders in blockchain. And it's called, here it is, it's called WTF is Happening. Women tech founders on the rise. So what kept me inspired there was I felt that blockchain enabled crypto, et cetera, was going to be the answer to the systemic problems that existed in order for us to achieve gender parity on a faster schedule than changing our existing systems. So the whole democratization of finance and providing access to deals and capital for more people than we're getting them was what motivated me to stay involved with blockchain. And then since the past 5 years, that has been really the only sector I have invested in. And so now we're doing the fund, specifically focused on the sector.
Okay, so this is a little bit background on the fund. Did you start it during the pandemic, before the pandemic? When did this get going?
So during the pandemic and probably around October, but I was previously with a different fund that was investing in blockchain and decided to partner up with Alex Bulkin, who had founded CoinFund. And we both were very interested in the impact components of blockchain and white space in the market because the people who understood the technology were not investing there. And the impact funds that existed did not understand the technology well enough to invest there. So we wanted to really make a difference and invest in companies that were having some impact as well. And so that's what we're doing.
Okay, great. So I've been in the blockchain space. That's how we met. And I'm curious, how does your strategy compare with someone like a Future Perfect Ventures, for instance?
I don't really familiar with that fund or that strategy. I would say for most funds, though, they're primarily traders or from traditional financial services who got into kind of trading crypto and really more speculative based, and now there are DeFi funds. I would say because I'm a securities lawyer and I understand regulatory risk very well, that I would not put other people's money at risk that way, knowing the regulation that is coming. So that is really one distinction. And again, the focus on ESG and impact is the other.
Okay. So this Future Perfect Venture is the one I'm mentioning to you. They never did any ICO investments. It's more on the tech side, blockchain tech. And basically, yes, Nisa has a fund. So just hang on. She's going to talk about it in just a second. And for those of you that are joining in right now, she launched it during the pandemic, and we're going to hear all about it. We're just talking about her strategy. And all that you missed is she said, we are looking for impact-focused blockchain companies. Correct, Nisa?
Correct.
This is it. Okay, so Angelic is more like tech, and she was one of the early investors in like the token ring, and I'm trying to think. Anyway, it's a different thing, but I want to introduce you to her because it's complementary. She's in New York, and you might have some overlapping people that you might want to talk to, LPs and so forth. So back to the fund, please tell us where you are in terms of looking for investments, and where you are in terms of reaching out to potential investors.
Yeah, so we just really came out in the press last week, and we had a lot of good articles, Forbes, et cetera. And one of the messages is that we want to democratize access for women. So we created a very unique structure of a fund. It's non-traditional, where women can invest with us if they're accredited. Right now it's accredited. That may change, but for right now, at a low rate, lower than is being advertised to the general public. Okay. And the reason we're doing that is because we want women to participate in learning, and also the wealth creation opportunities that the asset class has afforded. Because if you look, other than this one fund you're talking about, it's primarily gone to men who are running funds and who are on the Forbes list of wealthiest in this space, et cetera. And we have the ability now to democratize that. And so we want to take advantage of it. At least we at A100X want to take advantage of it. And obviously investing in women is also another area. So
beautiful.
Yeah.
And is it global? That's fun. Is it global?
It's
okay.
Global.
Great. And your sweet spot right now, are you looking for early stage, later stage? What
we do early stage. If you'll see, you'll recognize a lot of the names in the industry of companies that we have already invested in.
Okay.
And they've gone on to, like, for instance, Dapper Labs, which is doing NFTs, and Topshop NBA, which is now valued at $2 billion last week. We seeded them a few years ago. So we're looking for, we're pre-hype investors. We're looking for companies that we can capitalize on the upside before the hype catches up and there's a huge run up, which is what happened with Dapper Labs.
So for those women that are in the audience, we've got a lot of, blockchain savvy people, because this is the blockchain segment. I put you in right after all the talk started on blockchain. But there are people that are, earlier today we were talking about space and artificial intelligence, and we do have a number of women that are looking into, conversations happening tomorrow and Wednesday on women's entrepreneurship. They may not know the difference between blockchain and crypto. Can you draw the distinction? Are you investing at all in crypto? Is crypto an option? Can you just go into a little different distinctions?
Sure. So we have invested personally in crypto and early on, and it is one use case of blockchain technology. We don't feel that we want people to pay our fees just to hold crypto and trade it. There are plenty of people who do that, and there are plenty of places to go to do that. What we are doing is investing in use cases that use the technology for impact in other areas. For example, for climate, right? We're our next investment will be a company using AI for climate data that they're providing to real estate developers and insurance companies to predict where disasters will happen and to avoid it. Or you can look at carbon credit offsets.
Mm-hmm.
In healthcare, you can look at companies who are using the technology for supply chain or distribution, for clinical trials, for provenance of your data and medical records. So there's a lot of different areas within each kind of subset group. We're looking at a company that's using blockchain to do automobile title insurance, which is an antiquated paper-based system that takes 50 days once you have a claim after a car incident. And as a result, the secondary effect of that is that the land use for all the cars that are sitting in land uses, the turnover becomes 1 day, and you can free up land use for other uses. So we're always looking for where is that impact angle.
So I'm getting a question in the thread saying, what about the unaccredited people? What do they do? How do they contact you? You have ways that they can.
They definitely can contact me. And the laws are changing. So last quarter, they expanded it, at least in the US, the definition of an accredited investor. Okay. And they're allowing people now to be considered accredited, not only based on their wealth, which is long overdue, but based on their education. So now you can take an exam or a test and become an accredited investor without meeting the wealth requirements.
Okay. So going forward, what can we do? Like, there's a whole community here to engage in your fund. I mean, what are you absolutely looking for right now? Partners, deals?
I'm looking for women to invest, because I'm putting this out there in the press, and I'm getting all men investing in the fund, and that's not the goal. So I think that there's still a lot of education that needs to go on with women in general about the benefits of investing versus philanthropy. I think women have been socialized to be very comfortable with philanthropy, and they don't realize that an investment means you're going to, X your money in returns. And I think that's really the key, is that empowerment. And once they do that and participate in wealth creation, we will automatically be changing things. And
at the moment, like, you are the lead part. You're like one of the founding partners. Is that it in this new fund?
Yes. Alex is the other.
Okay, great. So you've got two of you, and then and it's already in motion, so they can invest like immediately, right? You're ready to go.
Yeah.
Okay,
yes.
super. I'm going to open it up to questions. We have a few minutes left, and this gives me what I need, and we're getting it out there, and we can definitely follow up with you after this event is over, and then see, what more we can do. So let's ask the people that are listening right now what questions they may have. I'm just looking to see if anyone has anything that we did not cover. We were pretty thorough today. We're going to give you another 30 seconds to chime in. If there's any of you that might want to come up on stage and ask a question, you're welcome to do that as well. I think we are good, Nisa. I'm seeing like everything's good so far. It just said what regulation is coming. That was
that's a whole other hour session that we'll have to talk about.
Exactly. I don't think we can give you that answer in like 50 seconds. Okay. Awesome. Thank you, everyone, for joining us. It's Nisa Moyles. Tell me the name of your fund and how they can find you, please.
Yes, it's A100X, and it's www.a100x.com.
www.a100x.com. Okay, so please check it out. and let us know. Reach out to Nisa either on LinkedIn, or I'm sure there's a way to contact her on our website. And we look forward to hearing from you. Thank you, everyone.
Thank you, everyone.
Okay, happy Women's Day. Bye, Nisa.
Happy Women's Day.